discussions prepared to celebrate 10 years of MESI. MESI is a medical device development and production company with a goal to bring early diagnosis to all patients. 10 years ago, the founders designed an innovative device for measuring the ankle brachial pressure index known as APP. This was a medical tool for early diagnosis of peripheral arterial disease. The device was revolutionary because it enabled healthcare professionals to perform the APP measurement in 1 minute. By today, the company also develops another product, MESI M tablet system, which includes wireless sensors for APP, ECG, blood pressure, pulse oximeter, and toe brachial index module. The tablet also includes MESI M records and MESI M store. MESI devices were sold in more than 50 countries all over the world by today. On November 4th, the company marked its 10th anniversary. To enable you to get to know the company a little bit better, we prepared a series of discussions with supporters, partners, and the internal team. You can listen to a chat with the founders. We spoke to partners from the UK and Australia. And today, you will hear from Matic Verbančič, the head of product development at MESI, and Dr Jaka Strel, who is a family medicine specialist, a researcher, a lecturer, and a good friend of MESI. My name is Tjaša Zajc. I am the founder and host of Faces of Digital Health podcast, and I will be moderating this short discussion today. So now, let's get to know a bit more about the collaboration and ideas and their contribution to MESI. Matic, Dr. Strel, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Strel, you met MESI with your colleague, Dr. Ivan Peteu, 5 years ago, when the two of you became MESI's customers. You're both forward-thinking technology enthusiasts and are continuously sharing your medical knowledge with the development team at MESI. So I really wonder, what are your first memories of the encounters that you had in the beginning with the team?
Yes, I first met MESI ABI device, I think in 2012, while I was working in Ljubljana. The device was very interesting, and in 2015 on some symposium I saw their I saw MESI once again. It was was their presentation on that symposium, and I first time saw there. I think that in that time it was prototype M Records tablet, and it was very interesting because in that time I and my colleague Ivan Peteu were thinking about going to individual practice in Zurich, and this was the time where we made contact with MESI, and soon after that I met Matic, and I instantly know that we are thinking in the same way.
Can you tell me a little bit more about how you follow trends in technology adoption? You mentioned that you now have your own medical practice. So to which extent does that permit you to improve care with new devices? So what are the constraints and how do you approach that?
Yeah. The main problem in family medicine is that we have a lot of patients each day. So our primary goal was to shorten all the procedures that are possible and get the best possible result, which can help you in patient care. So MESI has in this field a big advantage because all the machines, ACG, AB, tool brachial index, all are connected to same device, and we can shorten the time of all the procedures and get good results in how can I say, in we can better
manage care
of patients. So this is the main advantage of MESI. And of course, the device is becoming in each day it is more stable, and we can rely on it.
Mm-hmm. But we saw that MESI, in the first perspective, is bringing a lot of convenience to family doctors. So since you're the person responsible for the product development of MESI M-Tablet, can you share with us what your work entails? Where do you get ideas for further development?
Yeah, I think that you could split the work of myself and my team members responsible for product development into two parts. First of all, we are researching what the products must be. So everything from clinical, regulatory, technical, and any other requirement which make the product safe for medical professionals and patients. And secondly, we have to listen to users. So we have to listen to their wishes and their problems, and we have to take in consideration how they're working. So after that, we're coming up with proposed designs for the product, building and testing these prototypes, and making sure that the products that we're building are basically aligned with user needs. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's going to be the users such as Jaka that will be using the products, and they have to, enjoy, and they have to see the value in these kind of products.
So how do you approach medical professionals, and do you also work with patients?
Well, basically, our end users in this case are doctors, so we rely on their expertise when it comes to the patient point of view, because at the end of the day, they're also responsible for their well-being. And how do we approach to them? Well, usually, when we're developing a new device, we're of course looking for the type of users that are going to be using this kind of device. So for ECG, of course, we're going to be looking at then the primary care level, and of course then cardiologists. But often what we have noticed is that when we start the initial research, the really valuable partners in our case approach also us. So in this case, we really try to have this relationship with our partners, so that they see that their feedback, their input is being valued, and also that features that they wish they require in their day-to-day basis, that they actually get developed.
Mm-hmm. So what are the first steps in developing a new medical device? Mm-hmm. Do you already have a plan for what comes next after the M-Tablet? Is this something that's just going to be continuously upgraded and redesigned? To which extent are you thinking one step ahead of yourself?
That was quite a lot of questions, but let's take it step by step. So how it comes to the development of the device, basically it boils down to a couple of steps. So of course research, and then of course interviews with the users, so that we see what we're actually developing. As for what is coming up in the future for the MESI M-Tablet, we can say that we have a roadmap aligned and planned for a couple of years in advance. And I think that even if we now, let's say in the next year, develop everything that we have planned for the next 5 years, the trends are going to change, the feedbacks we're going to get from the customers is going to change. And also, now is a time when we're dealing with the worldwide pandemic. So actually nobody can know how the healthcare will be changed in the next year or two. So we really have to be agile when it comes to the development of a medical device and be really looking at what is happening right now, and of course be cautious of upcoming trends.
Dr. Strel, perhaps you can add your comment here regarding how this whole year and dealing with the pandemic changed the way you work in terms of technology. Are suddenly more devices on the horizon? How has your work changed?
Yeah, in family medicine, it's very important that you have a good relationship to the patient. So you must be in touch with him or her, and instantly react to some changes in health. This is important because if you react in time, you don't have medical complications in the future. So our main goal in this pandemic is to take care for patients that their health status don't get worse, and consequently they need hospital care. So from March till now, a lot of things have changed. We are working more by telemedicine. There is more conversation during email and telephone, but still patients come to our ambulance. That means that we are still doing the procedures, still taking, still doing diagnostics. So MESI is here for us to shorten those procedures and to be as less as possible exposed to possible infections.
Mm-hmm. I have another question for you. While the cooperation between the industry and the medical professionals is crucial for meaningful development in medtech, doctors don't necessarily have time to be associated with the industry. So I wonder, how do you find the motivation to contribute your feedback to MESI?
Yes, I always say that time is a relative value. So if you invest time in something that will help you preserve time in the future, this is a good investment. And when working with MESI, I can say that this was a good investment because they are always listening, and also they hear us what we are saying and what they can do better or where we have problems. And they are constantly upgrading the devices. A lot of times on behalf of what we were saying, or we our complaints, if I can say something like that. So that's this is the main reason because we are motivated to work with MESI, because the devices are getting better all the time. They are more user friendly. So for me and my colleagues, there was never a problem to give time to projects like that.
Mm-hmm. Matic, can you tell me what are the specifics taken into account when you're developing a new product, and you have to think not only how it will help the user, but also how you will differentiate from your competition.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that for this question, I'm gonna refer to the vision that we have at MESI, which is simplifying diagnostics in primary care and help discover diseases earlier. Specifically, I want to refer to the simplifying diagnostic part. As we know, healthcare is quite a rigid environment in which there isn't much leeway of what you can do with the product. It's not like consumer electronics where you can basically put a device on market as soon as possible and then see what happens. And if if the users are not happy, fine. If they're happy, all the better. In our case, there are many laws and regulations that govern how the healthcare must be run. But we always have to think that in the center of all of this are doctors and nurses. Even if they wouldn't be dealing with the worldwide pandemic right now, they're continuously overburdened. So we, as producers, we have to make sure that the product that we are developing and the one that we would like to put on the market is not just going to be another medical device just for the sales. It has to be a product that's going to make life easier for users in every possible step. So to say again, simplifying diagnostic, I think that this is what we have to take into account when developing a new product at MESI.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Strel, as Matic mentioned, healthcare is very well regulated and can be a bit rigid when it comes to innovation adoption, but rightly so, because we are dealing with human lives. However, does it make it easier for you to introduce new technologies in your practice because you are now in a private practice?
Yes, private practice gives you, or I can say smaller team gives you advantage because all new procedures or new technologies, it is easier to adopt because you have smaller team. You can talk to them, motivate them, and they sooner see the added value to new technologies. So my experience is good, but when you work in a bigger, bigger organization like hospital or something like that. You have a problem because the system is much more rigid. That also means that it is more stable. So bigger institutions have needs time to adopt to new technologies and practice. In this case, I see that as advantage for us because we are smaller, more motivated. How can I say, we see our future in shortening all the administrative and other procedures that are taking our time and put more time into patients. So we don't have problems like that with adopting new technologies.
I just have one more question for both of you. Perhaps, Dr. Strel, you can continue from where you left off, and that is, what are you optimistic about in further modernization of healthcare?
Oh, I'm very optimistic, but we need time. There are two problems. One problem is that in medicine we have organization and procedural, how can I say, rules. And if you adopt a new technology, you have to change some of them or to adjust. And this takes time. There is also problem on the other side, but this is not in case of MESI, because if you adopt a new technology that is not developed with healthcare professionals, it sometimes happens that you cannot put something new in your ways how you work. Mm-hmm. So it's very important that development of new technologies go hand in hand with medical professionals. So if you solve those two problems, I don't see any problem how we can do even better than now.
Thank you. And I think, Matic, we already established that that is what MESI is doing. Collaboration is crucial for you in many different levels with partners, with healthcare professionals. So the same question for you. How do you perceive the modernization of healthcare, and what are you optimistic about for the next 10 years of MESI?
When we speak generally about the modernization of healthcare, I think that everyone can agree that better tools such as software or diagnostic devices will provide better results for patients and for physicians. Yet, even with the best software and devices on the market, we can still see that there are some issues that we had also like 10 years ago. One thing that we have discussed before the interview is, for example, something as simple as physicians not having all the information regarding the patient. So I must say that I am really glad to see that in the last year there has been such a big push on the connectivity issue in the healthcare. Not only from producer sides, such as ourselves, but also from medical professionals, actually even more from them. And it's quite understandable since people became used to the constant availability of information with their smartphones. So it's only natural that healthcare is going to be even more connected in the future. And I'm talking about this very broadly. So what I'm optimistic about is that we're going to have the better connectivity, anything from improving data flow between different EMR providers, between different institutions, connection with these EMRs and wearable devices, telemedicine, additional improvements to national healthcare backbones, or just something as simple as basic communication between devices such as ours and the EMRs. So when you said what I'm optimistic about, I think that I'm optimistic about that we're coming to the age when we can actually say that we're having a modern healthcare. And I think that a key for that is that it is connected.
And we will continue to follow how MESI is simplifying diagnostics in that sense. Thank you both for this discussion. And as for the audience, do see other discussions as well. You can find the links in the description of this video. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.